In Parshas Naso over here, there's a lot of different ideas that are discussed. And we talk about Trumah. Trumah is 2% that is given, person has a field, a couple hundred acres. Let's say it's 100 acres. So he's got to give 2 acres worth, the percent, two of the 100 acres he's got to give to the Kohen. That's Trumah, that's what he's got to do first. That's the mitzvah of Trumah. Yeah. Next, we have a mitzvah of Sota. Sota is a woman who was unfaithful towards the husband. She's got to drink the water. Accused. Make sure that she wasn't unfaithful, and that's the sota. Gets tested. Not a good ending if she was unfaithful. All right. Good ending if she was, and then falsely accused. Then we have the Nazir, someone who commits upon himself. He's not gonna cut his hair, drink wine, have anything that has derivatives from grapes. Basically, that's it. A lot of details on all three, but one question is, what is the Sar HaShava Shebeneihen? What's the common denominator, the link between the two? We discussed when we were learning Pirkei Avos that we have to explain the juxtaposition of Parshas, Halachas, Mishnayos, Svarim, Mesechtas, Starim of Mishnayos. We got to always try to figure out the juxtaposition. What is the common denominator between them? This world consists of two types of people: people who are wise and people who are fools. That's essentially, if you break down the whole world, that's what it gets broken down to. All right? Now, Eizahu Chacham, who is someone considered wise? Who is considered wise? Well, so a few answers. Haroyas and Oilid is one of them. Right? Lo Mikol Adam is the lashon of the fourth parakavos. You learn from everyone, okay? Of course, recordings on the whole parakavos are by Blan.com. Now we're putting up more also. Already got first parak, fresh, going into it even deeper, writing a sefer on it. Anyways, so that's the wise person over here, yeah? He learns from everyone. It's a wise person. But the wise person knows also Haroyas and Oilid. Gemara and Talmud Lamed Beis. He foresees the repercussions of what he does right now, what will happen in the future. That's the idea over here, right? He's always thinking about the future and always planning for the future. He's always making a cheshbon, an accounting. Oh. And therefore, he's going to control his temporary desires and lusts for a greater end. I always like saying, I forgot the word for this. There's a word that is used, it's an English word, that you refrain from temporary pleasure to get a better result in the future.
Abstain?
No, it's not abstain. Is it hyperbolic discounting? I forgot the exact term. There's a term. I have it written down in my writings. Anyways, I probably even quoted from it and put a video on it.
Really close.
No, opportunity cost. No, there's something else also. Maybe that. All right. Point is that, would you rather have $100 now, or would you rather have $1,000 in 10 years? Or something like that. Right? That's what it comes down to. So the fool's only thinking about the present and the temporary pleasures. Most people are like this. It's animalistic behavior. Right? This doesn't only apply to spiritual matters, even physical, material things. This is the idea over here, right? Would you rather buy a boat with $10,000 that you have right now? Or would you rather put it away and then in 30 years it will turn into $100,000? Just making it up. That's the idea over here. So Rabbi Galinsky comes along and he says that cats frequent his garden, and occasionally he offers them milk. So he gives them milk, he bends down and he says, drink slowly. Leave some for later. So he says the cats, they look at him like they didn't hear him. And they probably didn't. Because when they're eating, the rest of the world is dead. Doesn't matter. The future doesn't exist. All they care about is the milk. Unfortunate reality is some people are like these cats. Right? They say the wicked are full of regrets because they're living on credit and they're going to cry when the time comes to pay, as we know. That's the idea over here. The idea is thinking about the future. They're only thinking about the current over here. Right? That's the idea over here. We have to always think about the future. That's the key over here. That's what we have to remember. An ant lives for a short amount of time, around a half a year. And but they store so much more food than they could use in their entire lifetime. It's insane. They work. In fact, Shlomo Melech says, "Leich el nimola atzel." Go look at ants. It's in Mishlei, Perek Vav. So can Vav Teches. Look at ants. You lazy one. Why? Because the ant says, "Oh, maybe Hashem will give me more life. Maybe, maybe." That's why he says, "Go look at ants." That's the idea over here. With this, we could explain over here the connection between these topics in our parsha. What's truma? We have to give gifts to the Kohanim without delay. If we do this, our yield will increase. We'll get more. But if we don't, our crops, our assets, money, we're going to get less of it. What does this teach us? We can't just live in the present. The present, it looks like we're losing. We're losing 2 acres right now out of the 100. Plus, then we have mice at 10%. We're down 12 acres out of 100. But from a futuristic perspective, we realize, wait a second. Not only will we receive spiritual reward in this world, in the world of eternity, rather, in the next world, but in addition, we're going to receive abundance in this world as well. That's the Sota. What's the story with the Sota over there? The Sota has to bring a momentary, right, temporary pleasures. And the Sota has to bring an offering. Korban consists of barley. Why? She acted like an animal. Her offering, therefore, is out of barley. Barley is animal food, as we've discussed already numerous times. Rashi and Bamidbar and Hey Tezvav. Why is she like an animal? Because she made herself available to someone who wasn't her husband. She acted like an animal. She only thought about the present. She didn't foresee the destruction of her act in this world and the next world. Temporary. Not having the future in mind. A person who doesn't give Meiser to the Kohen, it's awesome. He's not looking at the future. So guess what? Since he wasn't looking in the future, he was just thinking about the now, the YOLO, you only live once, party now for there is no tomorrow. So he educates his household to have the same approach. In the end, look what happened to his wife. Then we get to the Nazir. Anyone who sees a Sota in her disgrace should abstain from wine, because that leads to promiscuity. That's what the Gemara says in the beginning of Sota, Nazir, it's all over. Right? That's the idea over here. Rashi, Midbar, and Vav Beis. This is a lesson. Minimize the pleasures of the present to preserve the future. We discussed. I'll link it over here on how the concept of investing, putting away your money for the future, a portion of one's money, whatever it is, it depends on the person, how much he has, is a very Jewish concept. And there's a whole shir that I put up. I'm going to link the thing and about this. And that is the exact Torah perspective. Don't think about the short term. When people think about the short term, that's why they don't sit and learn. Because they say, what am I doing in short term? Nothing. It feels like I'm not accomplishing anything. But if a person sets aside a certain amount of time every single day, time or amount, you'll see that it builds tremendously. It builds for the future, and then you're really preparing for the future, because that's the reason why we're on this planet. Person will say, "Oh, what's my small deed that I'm doing?" What's it worth? We discussed it in the past, numerous occasions. It builds up, it builds tremendously, and it's all about the future. That's what Judaism is all about, preparing for the future. Haskin atzmcha beproizdor. Prepare yourself. Kedei liikanis l'traklin. Prepare yourself in the hallway so you could enter into the banquet, into the main room, the hall. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of this world. So it's a very Jewish perspective. And that's why I think that anyone who is a Syrian Eved Hashem with Torah, with mitzvahs, have a very easy time investing and doing that. And it's the same idea, not just thinking about the now, zoom out, think about the future, think about what you need in the future. All right, I'm in session tomorrow. We'll continue. Have a wonderful day.
Wow. Okay, very good.
Sure.
Baruch Dev.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome to